Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Morning, Bellows Falls, and welcome to the feed. Here we are. It's November 6th. We made it through daylight.
November 6th? How did it get to be November 6th already?
We made it out of daylight savings time into whatever
Into
time we're in now.
That time of the year.
Into that time of the year. Today we have Annette Spaulding with us, a great guest. She's been teasing me already about elephant bridges.
I know.
And then
Tell the audience.
all right, okay. So you have to stay tuned because
Yes.
we have big secrets that are going to be
Big
unveiled
secrets
today.
revealed here.
Yes, so keep it going here. Marty, local events or shout
Local
outs?
events, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that came to the Empty Bowl dinner on Sunday night. It was a huge success. Our place and Sarah Campbell and the board of directors, all of the other board members did a wonderful job. I don't think there was an empty seat in
Oh, neat.
at any of the tables. There were a lot of nice live auction items, a lot of nice silent auction items. I think they made some good money. The food was good. The Kernhattan kids came and served, which is
Oh,
always
nice.
fun. They're very cute. They're very dedicated. They're very
Yeah.
like you. As soon as your plate's done, boom, it's gone. They're good. But so I just want to give a shout out to thank everyone that came because it was a good cause.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Speaking of good causes, I
Here
like
we
the
are. This is a
segue.
nice segue.
Wow.
We're going to talk about.
Loved it.
Before we do, I do want to also comment on that Empty Bowl event. We're so fortunate to have such great people in the community to donate the auction items and all the work it took to put that together for such a great cause. And I love soup. Sarah has
So
the
you-
greatest soup. So yes, so thank you.
But you're
for-
doing an event.
Yes, so.
Or, yeah.
Thank you. I love the history of our area. I've been diving for about 38 years now, and my favorite place to dive in the world is here in the Connecticut River.
Really?
We have the most undiscovered 410 miles of beauty in this river, and the way that it's cleaned up over the years, it's really wonderful. And the things that I keep finding here, and moving to this community about 40 years ago, I just have to say, oh God, that means I've been diving more than 40 years. And you're talking about November
Yeah.
6th.
You're only
And you're
30
talking about
now.
November 6th, and I'm talking about, oh boy,
40
okay.
years, okay.
So anyway, I guess I've been diving longer than that. So this is important to me. I live in this community. I live in Rockingham. Everyone in this community has always been really great to me, my family, and I keep finding these things. And the Historical Society has been a wealth of knowledge to me and very wonderful. Marguerite and Larry Clark have been extremely helpful. I keep finding things and I don't know what they are. So I'll be
So
like,
you have to like, what?
hey, you guys, can I meet up with you and you can help me with this, you know? And so this has been going on now for a long time. And so I wanted to give back a little bit and volunteer my time to do a presentation. Because the visibility has been so great, they were talking about this emergency that we've had with the roof on the museum, the Adams grist mill. And coincidentally, I've been doing tons of diving in back of there.
Uh-huh.
And the things that I've been finding, a lot of them are connected to that era.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah.
So when they said that they needed to put on a roof and it was an emergency, I thought, oh my gosh, I know what I can do. I can do a presentation and get others involved, and we can have a fundraiser, and it can be at our beautiful opera house, and we can actually do this in a last minute. We put this together over the last less than 2 months with wonderful people helping. So with that, Thursday, November 14th, we are actually going to, and I asked Gail Golick if she would do this with me. So Gail and I are going to do a presentation, and it's a big secret. The secret is I've done 167 dives this year since March, over 300 hours underwater. I couldn't help it. Early in the morning, right before dark, because the visibility has been
Really? It's
over
improved.
30 feet.
Oh, really?
Is that
That's
unusual?
incredible.
Every year it's been getting better and better and better with stronger protection.
Yeah.
I've been a volunteer of the Connecticut River Conservancy for many years, and the work that they do in educating people about tree planting and erosion control, shade for,
Oh, yeah.
there's just so
yeah,
much.
There's so much to do. And so
So-
much being done.
Yes, and I'm so excited about it. So with all these different things, the visibility is
That's
fantastic.
amazing.
So with that, I started finding I did most of my diving between the Adams Grist Mill and the Westminster Station Bridge this year.
Wow.
I finished my project on the petroglyph search, rediscovery, that I loved so much. I did that for many years. So I focus this year on this section. Oh my gosh. I think I have all the fish but named. And they
Oh,
have
really?
me named too. So this
But I guess, because we look at that now and we're like, oh, that's nice and everything. But it's back to when it was the Native Americans, that was a very important stretch of river because it was below the falls and it's where the
Yes.
fish came and people gathered there. And it was like where the first settlement of actual commercial settlement of Bellows Falls was. And
Yes.
through the years, it was also like it was what the interstate is now, the Connecticut River was for 200 years, 300 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even longer. So with that and all the work that I've done, I'm very respectful of our culture and heritage here with the history of the Native Americans. It's very important to me. As a matter of fact, the searching that I did down in the West River and here, I've done, I think 3,410 dives to date in my life.
You
of
obviously
diving.
log these.
I do, and those are the ones I've logged. There's some I haven't, many that I haven't.
Really?
But there's these very spiritual places, and I think when you're really connected to the earth and you're really connected to nature, it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
If I'm out looking for something, a person's wallet that fell out of their pants when they were fishing or something like that, it's a different feeling. When I'm down there by myself, diving with the fish, look at these amazing geological, and wait to see what it is in this presentation, you won't believe it, but beautiful beauty. You're just very connected to the earth, very connected to the water, the fish, and you really have a real sense of space there. So with that, I just found all these amazing things. So I said to Gail, hey Gail, would you do this presentation with me? You can do the part and lay out the background of this area where I'm finding these things from the Adams Grist Mill to the Westminster Station. And she's like, sure. So I loved her poster. She has a skeleton of a dog showing her dog a skeleton of a dog with the dog sniffing it. That's on our poster, everybody. And I asked her, I said, what picture do you want me to use? And she sends me this picture, and I went, look at this picture. It's so funny. Did you see that?
I only
Oh my
have
gosh.
half of it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at that picture. So
That's
I almost died when I got it. It's cute. So Gail's like, sure. So she is going to do, the presentation is actually going to begin at 6:30. I should back up and tell you what's going to happen between 5 and 6:30.
All right.
So at the Opera House, it's $10. It's November 14th.
Which is next Thursday, just to
Next
kind of
Thursday.
put it in perspective
Where
for
does time
people.
go? And Jacob, I think, even put it up on the board.
Yeah, he
there.
did.
Yes, he
He's
did.
such a good guy.
And I probably should leave this one with him so we can see all the wonderful things that have been donated as well. So these tickets, $10, you can buy them in advance at the Village Booksellers. That's in Bellows Falls, of course, our wonderful bookstore. And then there's a store, wonderful also, who also has the name Village in it, Village Blooms, and that's in Walpole. And the funny thing is, when I was looking at their phone numbers, it's not on this poster, but they both have similar
Oh, really?
numbers.
Village
Village
in the
Blooms,
name.
Village Square Booksellers, and same phone numbers. And then we have the Brattleboro Marina. I asked them to be the Brattleboro source for the ticket sales because they were so generous all the years of looking for the petroglyphs. They let me come in and use their bathroom to warm up after being underwater
Wow.
for 5 hours at a time. So I asked them, and they said, sure. So that's the Brattleboro where you can buy them, or you can buy them at the door. So we want to raise as much money for this roof. We don't even know exactly how much it's going to be, but we know it's going to be a lot.
Okay.
So from 5 to 6:30, I have actually become very, very involved with Gordon Crandall. He got in touch with me after I found the petroglyphs. Gordon is part Abenaki, and he was an archaeologist for the state of Vermont for many years, and he has never, in more than 30 years, shown his entire
Oh, wow.
Native American artifact
He's
collection.
gonna have everything there?
He is
Wow.
not going to bring the entire collection,
Oh, but a good
he's going to
portion.
bring
Bring
3
significant.
8-foot tables
Wow.
full. And yesterday, I actually, and you'll see at this presentation, but it's amazing. I saw part of it, and it's amazing. And he's bringing these wonderful artifacts from our area, the Connecticut River, the Williams, and the West. And he's very respectful, and he's actually, over the years, was very instrumental. And whenever, way back, I mean, I hope he doesn't mind. Gordon, please don't mind. He's 92 years old.
Oh, wow.
92 years of history
Yeah,
right
good for
there,
him.
and sharp as tack. So we've been getting together and going to different, discussing a lot of different habitat sites in the history. We really have we love it. Gordon, from 5 to 6:30, will have that on display. At the same time, from 5 to 6:30, we're going to have a wonderful silent auction as well. And I'm very thankful. Ken Burns has been so generous, of course, for the auction, empty bowl, but he also donated a country music poster signed. We have a beautiful print signed by Charlie Hunter of the Gris Mill. George Streeter from Streeter Electronics. So many young people want to get into different things, and they seem to have a real interest in my underwater metal detecting that I do.
Yeah.
George donated a $500 metal detector for
Wow.
this, a land one.
Nice.
And we have a signed fish poster. Remember the band Fish?
Fish.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, from Burlington, most
That's-
of them. So we have a signed fish. We have collectible
That's very
Superman.
appropriate.
Yeah, for fish.
Underwater,
Yes,
underwater,
yes.
yes.
though. And we have a signed copy of Archer Mayer's book. We have a beautiful basket of food from Stacy Allen. We just have and these are all listed, by the way, on the Bellows Falls Historical Society Facebook page.
Okay.
And you can see pictures of these. And then we'll have Josh Hearn from Magic Mountain, and he'll be serving wine and beer, local. And we'll be providing, that's a cash bar, but we will be providing donated cheese crackers and some other food.
Nice. Very good.
So that's 5 to 6:30. And this silent auction is happening in that time period. So you have 1.5 hours to bid on these wonderful things. 6:30 cutoff time, and Gail starts. That's when all
That's
the
when the
boards are collected.
presentation starts.
And that's when the presentation starts with Gail. And then Gail will go from about 6:30 to 7, and then I'm going on at 7. And I was only going to do a half an hour. I hope the audience isn't mad, but I looked at it yesterday, and I found one more incredible thing. So I'm going to show 4 things that no one is seeing. Maybe one of them, Westminster Historical Society.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I think that people are
Oh,
going to be
wonderful.
amazed.
And it's video that you've taken underwater? Is that part of it?
Yes, I have taken about 80 hours of video
Wow.
underwater this year, and Larry Clark has helped me because we've been editing, and he keeps looking at it going, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, but look at this. And I'm like, oh yes, that has to stay. So I'm going to start with my adventure behind the grist mill. And as the water flows, I'm going to show you what I
Oh, nice,
found
yeah.
going toward the Westminster Station Bridge. Unbelievable. Whether you love fish, I'm going to show you pictures. I will give you this hint. People are always saying, Annette, how big are the carp down there? Now that the water's cleared up, I can see how big they are. But now that I'm there so much, they swim right with me,
Oh,
next
really?
to me.
Really? That's
They're
so
as
cool.
long as me.
Oh my God.
Really?
And they're
Nice.
about that thick.
Wow.
And I will show some of my carp and bass, how healthy they are, and feeding them as I'm looking at these incredible things I keep finding. So whether you love history, and it's a
Yes.
very historic find, fish, whether you like, what do you see, the geology?
this is amazing.
This geological find. I really hope we have some geologists in our community. If you're a geologist, please
Please
come to this
come.
presentation.
Or if you're
because
a history buff or
yes,
any kind of...
I have to show it. When you see this, you're never going to believe it. When I saw it, I couldn't believe it. And I have
Wow.
great video footage of this.
So I have a question that hopefully, but with the dams that were put in, did that change what you can see on the bottom? Because does it silt behind or wash out?
Yes,
Does it change the dynamics of the
It
river?
sure
I guess,
did.
in terms of
1909, for instance, when they put the Vernon Dam in and the water was only supposed to go up about 5 feet and it went up about 15 feet, it really changed things. And that's
Really?
why the petroglyphs that I found in the West River went underwater, because the only time they were ever underwater were during the spring freshet.
Yeah.
But yes, backed up in front of the dams, like in front of the Bellows Falls Dam here, I have found a lot of logging days
Oh, I
equipment,
bet,
PVs, things like that. And Larry Clark and I and another diver, about maybe 12 years ago or so, we were diving, doing a documentary. It was called Dynamite, Whiskey, and Wood. I said to the guy, Ed Klukowski from UMass, PBS special, I said, what's the name of that? He said, Dynamite, Whiskey, and Wood. And I said, he goes, it's a logging documentary.
Yeah.
And I went, well, I don't find dynamite under there and whiskey, but I do find a lot of wood. Because, it's about the history. Don't you know about all the things that happened along here? With all the traveling loggers, and they were drinkers, and I thought, oh boy. But anyway, we found it.
That's a story for
your
another
question
day.
in a real long way. Sorry about that.
No, that's
I'm
cool.
famous
I
for
mean,
that, too.
it's a really fascinating topic.
Jada would go, Mimi, you owe me 5 minutes. Anyway, that boat was in a lot of silt that had been backed up from the, it was actually, I didn't, Larry did, and this other diver, they were going along, and we happened to be filming this structure, which is right across from Joe's Dairy Joy.
Really?
There's a lot of those structures still left where they used to sort the logs coming down. We were down 32 feet filming that. At the same time, Larry and Pat were coming in. They didn't want to silt up where we were filming. And they found the same day a bateau 17 feet long that was used for logging. We kept it buried so it won't fall apart once you take it out of the water until we could have proper restoration.
Sure.
But then we couldn't re-find it again.
That's an interesting.
But it was backed up. It's because the silt.
Yeah,
That's why.
yeah.
Because we reburied it, but then the silt was like 6.5 feet different. So I don't understand totally the dynamics of the dams.
But it changes a lot. It sounds like
It does. And speaking of the dams, do you mind if I give a big thank you out there to all the dam keepers? I have a phone number to call when I'm going to be doing all this diving this year, and they've been wonderful. The Wilder Dam operators and the other individual men that I had spoken with, I would call and say, hi, this is Annette. I know your voice now. And I'd say, are you going to release water today? Because if I'm underwater, I can't see the yellow light, and I don't know the warning. So I was down there one day, zero, movement, and then all of a sudden the current, they released, they opened all the gates. So when I turn my head, you're holding on to rocks and you're crawling on the bottom, which I'm swift diver certified, so I'm used to it. But when I turned my head, my mask went because the current was so strong.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of interesting. But I don't panic or anything because I'm highly trained for this. But they're great, and that was the day I forgot to call. So when I do call, they're great. They'll say, Annette, for 2 hours we're not going to release water, but in 2 hours it's going to be.
They give you a window that you can dive in.
They're wonderful, and I told them
wonderful.
about this, and I want to thank all of them for their patience and my phone calls to them every day all summer, just about every day filming.
It's kind of interesting that what's sparked me to reach out to you is Larry Clark came to Rotary last week, and he brought the view from Table Rock, that video.
Yes.
And
I was honored to be asked to dive in that.
He was showing the video of which I had never seen that. I know Fact TV premiered it a few years ago, but I hadn't gone to it. And it was based upon the what they called pen and ink drawings or the sketches, and it was showing all the industry along the river. And then, so it seems like whenever they wanted to get rid of things in the industry, boom, it kind of went into the river, or did it just fall into the river? How did it,
I think
is it just the way that things went back then? It's like, it's fine if it goes in the river.
I think, back then, I remember actually, when I first started diving, this is awful, 40 years ago, and this is how much I respect how wonderful it's reversed. When I was diving, see this color blue? I'm not sure the audience can, but it's quite blue.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful sky, but it doesn't look beautiful like that when it's underwater with red dye and blue dye and different.
Oh,
And
really?
the sand and the silt actually had color. It is remarkable how nature is in cleaning. It's beautiful. I haven't seen dye or anything like that for many, many years now, and I am deep digging sometimes. But
But
I
that was a
think
byproduct of the
it
war.
was.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
speak with
Yeah.
Marty's comment, but also I think there were a lot of hurricanes and bad storms in the 1800s,
Oh, that's what, okay, that's
1860s.
what
Yeah.
contributed
Ice
some of
out,
it,
30
okay.
feet high difference sometimes that all my research. It's amazing the things that happened in the 1800s and how we lost a lot of those buildings.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I thought it seemed to me like it just seemed like at the gist that maybe they just dumped, and I know that was kind of the thing, just
That
dump it
is
in the
true
river.
too.
Yeah.
That is true too.
Yeah.
Well, and that's that.
We've
There's
learned
that.
our
It's a two-sided coin because now you find things in the river that if they had
History.
been in
Yeah.
a landfill or something, you probably wouldn't
That's
find
true.
them.
That's true.
But now they're there and you're seeing them, and like you've found some terrestrial objects that probably aren't underwater objects too, right?
Yes.
Without giving anything away.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Actually, how much time do we
We
have?
have about 4 minutes,
Yeah.
so
4
we
minutes?
might want to get
4
to
Time
minutes?
flies when you're having
I
fun.
know, 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Oh my gosh. Well, can I just say this real quick? One of the most amazing, well, no, they're all amazing finds. I keep finding, and wait till you see this. I can't wait.
Well, that's
But
why we have to go to this thing.
Yes.
Is that we don't have
Yes.
time to sit
Yes.
and talk and
I
guide us
will,
through
I
this.
will.
Yeah.
And I have found, have you ever heard of the Elephant Bridge down in Westmoreland?
Well, that's what you
Putney?
keep teasing me with.
Well, 4 minutes, we only have 4 minutes, but I will tell you this, I didn't know what it was either. But I was asked to look for an Abenaki engine that was manufactured in Westminster by the Historical Society of Putney. Bottom line is, my daughter and I were diving, and we went across to the New Hampshire side. We dove from Putney, went across to Westmoreland. We were coming down in current and ran into this big wall. We're like, what is this, 32 feet high? We filmed it underwater, brought it to the Historical Society. They looked at it and they said, you're never gonna believe what you just found. I said, what? They said, the Elephant Bridge. I said, what's the Elephant Bridge? Bottom line, here's the bottom
Yeah,
line.
come in.
The
You have to- no,
first
don't give it away.
elephant ever brought to North America, no, I can because I already did
Oh.
a presentation on that, and it's not in this. First elephant ever brought to North America came up in a traveling circus to Putney and crossed that bridge, and there was a terrible accident.
Oh.
And the people on both sides of the river, thousands of people, tried to save it, and it died.
Oh, but it didn't
War
die
to
because
destroy.
of the bridge, did it?
It was crossing the bridge. It was forced across the bridge. The man that was also
Yeah.
forced to make him cross the bridge. They went through. Several people died.
Oh.
The elephant fell through, shrieking. He didn't die from falling through the bridge. He fell when he fell on the rocks. He didn't die right away. People from Westmoreland took an oxen, 8 oxen and a cart, and took an elephant up the Park Hill Meeting House on that side
Wow.
in that village, and 8 people took care of the elephant day and night, and it died after 7 days, I
That's-
believe. His skin went to the
Tragic.
Boston Museum of Science, and his remains are buried in the back of the Park Hill Meeting House. Can you imagine being an archaeologist and
Yeah,
finding that?
someday, and they find a.
Sad story.
It's a very sad story, but
But it was
interesting.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I did not know about it.
Yeah.
until-
But a total snippet of history that you would never think that you would find in the river.
Yeah,
I really,
that's
that's what
another-
I think is fascinating, is I think we
Yes.
have no,
We have no idea
No
the
idea.
history.
Historical societies, thank you so
Yes.
much. I really love our historical
Yeah.
societies, and that's a great way to end my conversation on this, because if it wasn't for them, I could not identify the things of the past, and I support so much our historical societies. Please join Bellows Falls Historical Society and all our local ones, Walpole, Putney, everywhere, please,
Yes,
because they're
Westminster,
so
too.
wonderful.
and they're always, like, Larry Clark always ends his talks with reminding people that they're looking for volunteers.
Yes.
And the Historical Society now is located in the old, is it called the Arms Block? Is that what it's, that's
Yes.
called, the Arms
Right
Block? So
as you come
it's,
down.
you can't miss it, it's right there, right next to,
Cassandra's
Cassandra's store, yes.
Oh my
like
God,
the-
beautiful
the,
store. I love her store.
And they're open, people can go in, they're always looking for help, and they definitely need the support to keep the roof on the Adams grist mill.
I started
That's like
helping, and when you
desperate.
do, you're addicted because you wouldn't believe the wealth of knowledge.
Oh, they have tons and
Stop
tons of
in
stuff.
there for
Yeah,
a couple hours
yeah.
someday. You can't leave. See this right here, everyone? See this file? This is from, these are copies of the things I stopped by to help with. I ended up studying and reading fascinating history.
Yes.
It really is, and we have, we are lucky that we have so many dedicated people down there, because otherwise the history would be lost.
Exactly. We can't have that happen because I am so thankful because I would never be able to identify these things without all of them. I went to 5 different historical societies on both sides of the river to do my research on my recent discoveries.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I'm not joking. When I was younger, I always liked history. I have to say, I can't even, there's no words.
Well,
speechless.
on that note,
We gotta
we
reiterate.
got to reiterate. Underwater Treasures,
Yes.
Thursday, November 14th, at the Bellows Falls Opera House at
Yes.
5 o'clock. Get in there at 5 so you
5,
get
so
your
you see-
bids in for the.
Yes,
And
and
see
see
the-
Gordon's collection.
Yes, and see
'Cause
the
then-
collection, because
Yep.
the presentation is going to start promptly at 6:30, and so you want to get in there before that.
Thank you so much
Thank you for
inviting
coming
us.
on. You have to come on again, to be honest, because you have so much. We just scratched the surface, and then you're leaving
No
us
pun
again.
intended.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me
Yes,
because
and thanks for coming.
I do think it's really important to do the history.
And that's it for the feed, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it, folks, for the feed. Be sure to catch us every Wednesdays at 7:30 a.m. Also, find us on Facebook at Fact TV, or tell us what you think. thefeed8@gmail.com. And don't forget to watch the feed online at www.fact8.com.